What up, guys? Adrian back again. This is another FNX Live Post of the Week. This week we're discussing nutrition. And now I know it's kind of rare for a supplement company to be out in front and really discussing the importance of nutrition and what it can lead to in your lives. But the bottom line is, if you guys are taking our supplements, you have to understand that your nutrition and what you take in with real food is creating a baseline that's going to allow the supplementation to actually help you thrive. Right? So we're not here marketing the idea that you can only survive off of supplements, because the truth is that that's all you'd be doing is merely surviving. And we want to help you guys out there thrive. So what does that look like? In a day-to-day basis, you definitely need to first be aware of what kind of food that you're eating currently, right? So what I would encourage most athletes to do, and most people out there trying to live a healthier lifestyle in general, is get an idea of what your normal day-to-day food consumption looks like. Put it in a MyFitnessPal app or somewhere, even if it's just journaling it on a piece of paper. Give yourself a literal detailed layout of how you're eating and what kind of quality and quantity of the food is. Secondly, once you see that, usually most of you guys are going to be aware and now a little more sensitive to the facts that you need to make some improvements, okay? How can we do this? My advice is you first start with quality, right? In CrossFit, we say that you guys should be eating meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. You want to avoid sugar like it is the plague. And I know it's important for you guys to stay happy and have your cheat meals and indulge every now and again, but we want to keep that to like 1 to 2 meals a week. The goal would be to try to sustain to the quality of food at what I just described about 90% of the time, and then enjoy yourself about 10% of the time. Some people can let that slip to about 80-20, but then I would argue that the results really start to taper at that kind of ratio. So that's first. Once you guys really dial in what works for you as an athlete, works with your lifestyle in regards to quality, the next step would then be to consider the quantities of the food that you're consuming. And I don't mean not only just throughout the day, but I mean even meal to meal, right? Think about being able to measure and weigh the food and understand that what you're going for is 3 to 6 grams of meat at any given time throughout the day, whether it be a snack or a meal. And then maybe on some kind of assumption, we're considering somewhere between 30 and 75 grams of carbohydrates at any given meal, and also the same thing with fat, somewhere between 15 and maybe 30 grams of fat per consumption. And now that's going to look different for each and every person out there. But the most important thing to consider is that if we're not tracking, we're really lost in regards to pursuing something as a goal. So overall, my take is clean up your quality first. Stick to the basic guideline of meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. If you guys are hearing this for probably like the 100th time of your life, you're clearly a CrossFitter and you know that Coach Glassman's been teaching this for a very long time. It's valuable because if you take in food in that order, meats and vegetables, notice that there's no measure on how much of that. You can probably eat a good amount of meats and vegetables. Nuts and seeds, again, there's really no measure. Healthy fats is the goal. Try to avoid added salt and sodium. And then you get to some fruit. So how much is some fruit? Well, clearly less than the amount of nuts and seeds and meats and vegetables that you're eating. And then lastly, no sugar. That's pretty straightforward, right? After you guys do that and cross that barrier for maybe a month or two, then let's start really dialing in the connection of the content and how much of the food. And then I think you're going to be on your way to pursuing an elite level fitness journey for yourself, whether that looks like pursuing the CrossFit Games or even it just looks like being the fittest in your AM class at your gym, maybe the fittest in the gym overall. I don't know, but it's going to allow you to pursue 1, a great physique and a healthy lifestyle, 2, peak performance. Start tracking your food, guys. That's the best place to start.